Do yourself a favor and don't go and make an entire channel about Titanfall 2 like some stupid idiots did. I heard it didn't go so well. Hey, stop scrolling down. Stop scrolling down. Stop! We don't talk about the dark times around here. As soon as I saw the live action footage, I knew this was going to constitute 90% of the game's cutscenes. And I made a terrible mistake putting this up for a vote. But screw it, I'll send this game anyway, even if it's incredibly light on set pieces and cutscenes. And character development. And plot. And lore. And depth. But hey, it's got nice mechanics at the very least. Future space soldiers have somehow found a way to make kunai knives useful in modern combat. And FYI, kunai knives may look cool and are associated with ninja, but all they were was sharpened digging tools.
The pilot is the true dominant force.
Then you should probably train a few more of them then, instead of having maybe one for every 1,000 regular soldiers. The only thing that makes pilots special is that they have jetpacks, no parkour, and have a giant robot to call on.
A pilot sees the world differently.
Anytime you hear someone describe anyone with that line, you may politely cough while muttering the word bullshit. I would also suggest politely flipping the bird.
But what truly separates the pilot from all the grunts and machines of the battlefield is the bond between a pilot and a Titan.
You don't say. The giant robot killing machine is the biggest difference between pilots and regular soldiers? Wait, they use Titans for farming? Do the farmers using these things have unparalleled training and see the world differently too? Because if they don't, then it means anyone can use a Titan.
For years, our lands have been destroyed by the IMC, forcefully taking our resources, polluting and destroying our planets.
Do I even need to mention the names of the good guys and villains in this game? This is a space drama writing 101 stuff. You can probably name a dozen movies, books, and TV shows that use the same premise. In fact, this game only barely provides an identifiable villain to be the face of the IMC. Evil space empires really need to learn that if you have the ability to travel through space, you can mine any one of the uninhabited worlds out there for resources, instead of picking on only the ones that have a population.
Despite recent victories at Demeter and beyond, we have a long way to go before the IMC is defeated.
Do you remember the plot of the first Titanfall? Me neither, and this channel used to be a Titanfall YouTube channel, so that should give you some idea of how forgettable it was. Hell, this game just summed up the plot of the first game in one line.
I'm a long way from becoming a pilot.
A real long way. Like one whole tutorial mission from that, in fact.
Here we go, Rifleman Cooper.
Because trained and battle-hardened soldiers need additional VR training moments before they go into battle for skills they would normally not need since Jack Cooper isn't a pilot. Even in VR, teleportation is still used to be a dick.
This is what we're fighting for, Cooper. A world that's not metal and smoke. The freedom to live in peace and prosperity.
You know, I think the IMC are probably fighting for the exact same thing since their goal is resources. And this is all just very effective propaganda on the part of the militia.
Easy, Cole. You just left VR. He needs a minute to decompress.
You don't need to decompress after leaving VR. You haven't actually gone anywhere.
We're going to see a new planet today. Maybe even die on it.
Lastimosa is raising all the death flags. He's training a new, younger recruit, introduced his Titan partner, and is now going into battle while making jokes about dying, and he has the word last right in his name. Rather than show you any part of the IMC attack that just destroyed most of the militia fleet, you get a title card and some radio chatter.
Stabilize. 250 milligrams of Sansu fentanyl administered.
This lifeboat AI just killed Cooper with an overdose, since Sansu fentanyl is 500 times more potent than morphine, and 200 milligrams of morphine is enough to kill someone.
Cooper, you're in bad shape. Hold on.
Screw all the other militia soldiers that were wounded and dying, I came to rescue you.
Might knock you out, but you should be okay when you wake up.
How many drugs are you people going to pump into Cooper? At this rate, this entire game better be a drug-induced hallucination, and the ending credits should be Cooper waking up here on the ground. After taking out Lastimosa, the Apex Predators drag all the survivors from the crash to this one spot for execution and somehow didn't notice Cooper in the grass just a few feet away.
We have 18 hours. 18 hours until the Ark is sealed and ready for delivery.
And I just had to spout that vital information out in the open instead of using secure communications. Why do evil organizations always rely on mercenaries? I don't think you can become a spacefaring empire without fielding some badass soldiers, but they never seem to have special forces of their own.
Oi, Richter! Leave the corpses alone, you sick bastard.
Game tries to do that whole rogues gallery thing it's seen in other games, but forgets to develop any of these villains further than that they killed Cooper's mentor and they all have unique outfits. The only villains in this game I can even recall are the ones that remind me of something else, like the one that sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the one that looks like it began life as a Warhammer 40k Chaos Marine.
Cooper, take my Titan. Use my helmet and my jump kit. This is the real thing. Take care of him.
Glad we got to know Lastimosa so well before he died. Thanks for the memories.
Are you alright, pilot?
BT isn't voiced by any of the people who voiced Optimus Prime over the years, but damn if he doesn't do his best impression of it. Sewer level. One long sewer level. Why a sewer even exists in a world that's populated only by a few IMC soldiers and researchers is beyond me. Someone did a sick paint job on that Warhammer 40k character.
You were not invited to Kane's party.
If you name one of your villains Kane, I have to think less of you as a writer.
Kane, we need reinforcements in the tunnel. Kane, how copy? Over.
It's pretty fortunate for Cooper that Bliss never considers that their communication might be compromised after losing contact with Kane after he fought with Cooper.
Put a high price on your head, pilot. Dead or alive. That makes you worth something to me.
Of the two famous fictional characters to use the name Ash that I know of, this is not a strong addition to that group, even if her voice actor is named Campbell. This giant facility does nothing more than produce combat training grounds that are assembled for training matches. I can't see this as anything more than a giant waste of resources, but damn if it doesn't reinforce that Warhammer 40k joke I'm running into the ground.
This facility was built to kill. I'm sure I can take advantage of that fact if I have to.
Ash, that place is not your bloody playground.
Actually, this place is a giant soldier's playground. That is its only function, in fact.
Overseer requests all teams working on the Ark analysis report to the lecture hall for General Marder's presentation.
Time fluctuations sure know how to pick a moment. Instead of all the uneventful things that happened in the past at this research facility, it briefly fluctuates to only the important parts.
They found something on Titan. A massive blast of energy was discharged at this location, creating time distortions. I want SRS on the ground to infiltrate the facility.
If this mission briefing between Anderson and Sarah Briggs occurred in this facility after it was destroyed, then you were already inside and didn't need to infiltrate. So either the devs made a mistake, or this hollow recording's orientation conveniently lined up with the location when the two of them were just looking at a briefing screen.
This wrist-mounted device we recovered during Operation Grizzly should protect you.
When you give someone a wristband that lets you travel through time, you explain very carefully to that person exactly what it does and that they hold the power of a god in their hand. Why would Anderson keep a recording of his mission briefing in his helmet before going on a top-secret mission to infiltrate the IMC research base? It becomes pretty clear that the person who broke into this facility and caused its destruction was Cooper himself by jumping back into the past. I'm pretty sure there's a paradox in all this, because let's face it, there is always a paradox somewhere in time travel plots. But I really don't feel like running my mind in circles trying to find and explain it. This jumping between the present and past mechanic is so good, I'm surprised the entire game wasn't built around it.
A fragment of Anderson's damaged log may be relevant here.
Why are all of Anderson's data logs geocached to certain locations in the base? You shouldn't have to stand at the same location he was to see his message. It's never explained where the IMC found the Ark and who built the time and space controlling orb. And yes, it's called the Ark, because sci-fi loves its biblical references for easy added relevancy. Even in this case where it doesn't function as an Ark at all and it's just a planet-destroying superweapon. The time control wristband breaks right after Cooper scans the Ark and is sent back to the present. Can't have you using that awesome mechanic too much after all. Don't worry though, we have an electricity gun that opens doors for you in the next level.
The IMC intend to destroy the militia planet of Harmony using the full-scale version of this weapon.
But they want the resources of the frontier. If they go around using a super weapon to destroy planets, they are kind of shooting themselves in the foot. I call bullshit on BT being able to free climb this mountain. Bastard can't even jump when I'm controlling him, let alone mantle a waist-high wall.
I detect traces of poisonous chemicals within the fog. I recommend you embark when operating in hazardous environments with greater than 1 ppm tungsten hexafluoride.
He's wearing a sealed helmet though. Cooper should be able to walk through poison gas just fine.
Arc tool. Function. Generates power up to 5 megajoules.
I know there's a huge difference between the words arc and arc, but I think they should have at least tried to come up with a different name for this thing.
Sensors indicate another one in the substation, but it's nearly impossible to get down there. This place just ain't built for humans.
Well, there's your problem. Why build a power plant that regular people can't get around in because of the lack of floors?
Caution. High radiation levels detected ahead. Your suit will only protect you for a limited time inside the chamber.
So his suit can protect him from radiation from a nuclear reactor, but not poison gas?
Captain, the uplink targeting module is offline. Pilot, this situation could use your skills.
Of course it is. In video games, no matter what the game tells you your role is, you are simply a repairman in an unfortunate set of cascading breakdowns that require you to go to the ends of the earth to open a door. I learned this move from reading Wolverine and Colossus X-Men comics.
All security units, this is Richter. Get to the beacon now.
Where to start? This guy sounds and looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, is named after the villain from Total Recall, and uses a close approximation of the get to the chopper meme.
Alpha to 1, Sitrep, komm rein! Was zum Teufel!
Well, we would, Captain, but you keep giving half your orders in German, and we all have pretty clear English accents like all good space villains do, so we have no idea what you're saying.
The socket for the module is at the top of this dish. A throw combined with additional climbing is required.
Pretty sure there would be a maintenance elevator on this thing.
This is Sloan.
Go ahead.
Kane and Ash are dead. Someone's been killing your mercs, and it looks like one of our radios has been nicked.
That took you way too long to figure out. Did it ever strike you as weird they both stopped responding right after fighting with Cooper, and that Cooper was obviously still alive?
Richter, please. Yeah, I'm already on my way. Richter out.
Despite knowing that Cooper is listening in on their comms, the mercenaries and the IMC continue to use the same frequency. The Apex Predators love to open their cockpits for a little smack talk before each fight. Why Cooper doesn't open fire while they're exposed during these moments is a mystery.
Stand by for Titan! Titanfall!
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a title. D-Day was certainly a famous battle, but if you're going to recreate it, the location has to make sense. Why is there such a heavily defended plateau on a fucking mountain? There's a line of rocks behind the landing spot. Why did the IMC have all their defenses pointed at a rock wall? And why did the militia choose to land in the most heavily defended spot?
Get to a ship, we're going after him!
Why didn't you drop your Titans right next to the ship transporting the Ark instead of half a mile away? You flew over the damn thing before beginning the attack. Hell, you had an entire fleet on hand to blow it all to hell before the Draconis ever took off.
I got you, kid. Brace yourself.
Cooper and BT survived this. Advanced starships continue to opt for close-range broadsides instead of long-range weaponry. In a situation where you and a handful of militia pilots are staring down the barrel of a room full of IMC soldiers, who are in turn staring back and waiting for the bulletproof glass to shatter before firing, I'm going to place my money on the team with more guns. Though it needs to be said that the IMC were incredibly stupid for not taking cover during that entire standoff when they clearly saw the pilots were about to breach the glass. That seems like a pretty huge design flaw that the IMC would build these bridge controls with ports for data knives. Cooper survives this.
We are trapped.
What are you doing?
Protocol 3. I will not lose another pilot.
Your giant metal body is not going to protect Cooper from much during a crash landing. He's still going to be thrown all over the room and everything still explodes.
You're gonna open up and give me what I want.
Let me just rip it out of him.
Can't risk it. The Ark's unstable.
Pretty sure you can risk that. That's exactly how Cooper and BT took it from you, by punching a hole through the Ark's containment system. Plus it survived a crash inside BT. I think ripping it out is a solid idea.
Now open up, or I'm going to shoot your pilot in the head.
This actually works. You could have done that without opening your cockpit. So I guess it was okay to just rip it out. No one ever kills Cooper when he's lying helpless on the ground. BT should really mention to Cooper that he can just install BT's CPU in a new chassis and he'll be fine. BT is lucky that Cooper already knew to do that. BT had the most OP weapon in the game stored in his survival kit the entire time and never gave it to Cooper until now. The smart pistol is like a McCree alt that is never on cooldown.
Old paint, same data core. BT-7274 good to go.
Well, that's one way to make a heroic sacrifice pointless. But don't worry, it just means BT gets to do it again in 5 minutes.
I think our militia pilot's trying to be a hero. He's all yours. Keep the salvage.
Bliss doesn't bother trying to kill Cooper and leaves it to Sloan, and vanishes after the cutscene even though he was right beside Sloan when he told her to take care of Cooper.
Cooper, the injector back blast is overloaded my critical internal systems.
And incidentally made me sound like Shodan.
It's your lucky day, hero. I'm not going to kill you. I don't work for free.
Plus, I'm really hoping for a sequel where they will develop my character.
But you don't get to kill me either.
Cooper did kill all of your men. Even if you won't get paid for it, killing him would probably feel really satisfying.
Protocol 3. Protect the pilot.
BT, what are you doing?
Trust me.
When you sacrifice the same character twice in a row, it just loses something the second time around. They didn't dunk the Terminator into molten metal twice and blow up the Iron Giant for a second time for good reason, you know. Well, you saved one planet, but this one is totally fucked. Credit sequence ripped straight from the Predator. I honestly don't even want to send this, but my childhood love of the Predator can't let it stand. Sequel baiting.
What's up, pilots? I'm Dardigan and welcome to Titanfall Nexus.